Today, we are handing over to the people of Niger Delta a befitting head office complex for present and future use.
President Buhari commissions 16 billion naira NDDC office complex, describes project as having of better times for Niger Delta region.
I want to assure you categorically and unequivocally, the government is going to apply its full weight to deal with these criminals.
Difficult days ahead for bandits and insurgents as federal government vows to clamp down on agents of insecurity.
We're starting from the laboratory here in Dr. Lawrence Henshaw Memorial Hospital.
Vaccination picks up pace across Nigeria. More states take delivery of COVID-19 vaccines.
The NTA by Sea as launched today is structured to onboard 1 million new beneficiaries, beginning with an initial 500,000 beneficiaries in the first stream.
Plus, Batch C of NPower program targets additional 500,000 young graduates for skills acquisition and empowerment. Good evening. Thanks for joining us on NTA Network News. I'm Cyril Stover in Abuja. Hingino John Adams will join me from Lagos. President Muhammadu Buhari has formally inaugurated the new headquarters of the Niger Delta Development Commission, valued at 16 billion naira. Though the ceremony was performed through an alternate virtual platform, President Buhari described the project as an important milestone in his administration's efforts at repositioning the Commission for Sustainable Development of the Niger Delta region. State House correspondent Adam Sambu has the report.
Occupying a total land area of 39,116 square meters, the new magnificent disabled-friendly head office complex of the NDDC consists of a 13-floor twin-tower main building as well as a 4-story ancillary building which will be home to commercial properties like banks, hospitals, restaurants, and various conference halls. Before the completion of the project, which started in 1996, NDDC has been spending 200 million naira annually on rent.
I commend the management and staff of NDDC who stay in the cause and keying into the reform agenda of our administration. Today, we are handing over to the people of Niger Delta a befitting head office complex for present and future use. Consequently, huge yearly rentals will now be saved and deployed to other areas of needs in the region. I am particularly pleased to note the cordial relationship between the NDDC and the National Assembly and hope that this relationship will be strengthened further for the benefit of the people of the Niger Delta region.
President Buhari commended the Minister of Niger Delta Affairs, Godswill Akpabio, for providing the required leadership that led to the completion of the project.
In 2015, as part of our administration's cardinal objectives to kill corruption, some critical reforms were embarked upon, part of which was a holistic reform of the NDDC for greater service delivery for the people of the region. To achieve this, I reassigned the supervision of the NDDC to the Honorable Minister of Niger Delta Affairs for administrative efficiency. Second, was the appointment of forensic auditors to review the operations of the Commission and to ensure that the appropriations made to the NNDC are commensurate with what is on the ground.
Speakers at the event poured encomiums on President Muhammadu Buhari for his passion and genuine commitment towards enhancing the development of the Niger Delta region.
I wholeheartedly commend President Muhammad Buhari for setting up a forensic audit to look through the books of NDDC. I also welcome the setting up of an interim administration to manage the affairs of the Commission pending the conclusion of the forensic audit. With the Commission's new headquarters coming on stream, NDDC is now expected to turn a new leaf in attitude, in performance, and in general operations.
May God bless Mr. President for this edifice. This complex will improve the lives of the people of Niger Delta. These things are being done in a period of pandemic when many countries cannot pay salaries. I think if nobody can praise you, God Almighty will praise you by giving you strength of character and giving you long life and helping the rest of us who are committed to your vision to help you to realize your dream for Nigeria.
We, the chiefs, kings and elders of the Niger Delta, are completely confident in your ability to carry us to the next level.
With the inauguration of the new office complex of the NDDC, attention is now focused on the ongoing forensic audit, whose outcome many believe will lead to rejigging the operations of the Commission for effective service delivery. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And turning to security matters now, President Buhari has re-emphasized his marching orders to security chiefs to go harder on criminal elements undermining national security and stability, insisting that anyone found illegally with AK-47 rifles be shot at sight. This was at a meeting with the National Council of Traditional Rulers of Nigeria at the State House, co-chaired by the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Sa'ad Abubakar, and the Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Enita Ogunwusi. Here again is Adamu Sambo with the report.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who appraised the royal fathers with efforts by government towards improving the security situation in the country, said his administration has recorded appreciable successes in the northeast and south parts of the country. He, however, described as surprising the situation in the northwest, where people with the same culture are killing each other, kidnapping for ransom, rustling domestic animals, and burning valuable properties.
Those who are conducting the abduction, the killing and so on, they don't seem to be short of arms and ammunition. We had 4 hours meeting of the Security Council. We gave clear instructions. Anybody with AK-47 should be shot, because AK-47 is supposed to be registered and is only given to security officials.
The president expressed dismay over the attacks on police stations and killings of security personnel by criminals, stressing the need for traditional rulers to use their influence and position as bridge builders to complement government efforts at ensuring peace and security, as well as rooting out those who do not mean well for the country.
We have a problem, but I assure you we are doing our best. Our best hasn't proved to be good enough, but we are getting desperate. And we are given the orders to the military especially to be very hard on the criminals. Confidence must be restored in governance within the next 6 weeks. In 6 weeks' time, I want to see a difference.
During the meeting, the president listened to various interventions from representatives of the traditional rulers from each of the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. The royal fathers stressed the need for the traditional institution to be assigned definite roles, particularly on peace and security within the ambit of the constitution, as well as regular engagement with the National Assembly on multiple fronts.
We narrated stories of this banditry, kidnappings, killings here and there, and request Mr. President to consider putting us in a position whereby we can directly or indirectly help in terms of securing our respective domains.
At the behest of Mr. President, I will convene a meeting with our royal fathers in a couple of days, and we'll look at all the issues that need to be discussed with a view to finding a way to permanently eliminate the problems confronting us.
Apart from the National Security Advisor, the meeting was also attended by heads of other security and intelligence services. From the State House, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
And just to restate that the federal government has put its foot down that it will not negotiate with mercenaries in its fight against insurgents and other forms of insecurity in the country. The National Security Advisor, Baba Gana Munguno, stated this at the third edition of the State House media briefing organized by the Presidential Communications team focusing on the security sector. This story is also by Adamu Sambu.
The National Security Advisor, Babagana Munguno, was responding to a question on renewed calls on the federal government to engage foreign mercenaries in routing Boko Haram terrorists in Sambisa Forest and other insurgent enclaves.
The direction of the Commander-in-Chief is that we do not engage mercenaries when we have our own people to deal with this problem. The President has given a new lease of life to the armed forces, and I believe that we should be able to overcome these people without resorting to help from mercenaries.
The National Security Advisor also ruled out the possibility of the federal government negotiating with either the bandits, terrorists, or other criminal elements.
Psychologically, it's not even good for us. It paints the picture of weakness. It paints the picture of incapacity, and I do not see any reason why we cannot, with what we have, deal with these elements. These are not people who are looking for anything that is genuine, kosher, legitimate. These are people who are just out to take measures, calculated measures to inflict pain, violence on people, and we must deal with them the way they have to be dealt with.
The federal government, he said, will not succumb to blackmail and the use of criminals by proxies to harass innocent Nigerians.
I want to assure you, categorically and unequivocally, the government is going to apply its full weight to deal with these criminals until such a time that they vacate the shores of this country. This is President Muhammadu Buhari's thinking. This is his trajectory. And this is what we are going to do.
He said the recent changes made by the president in the nation's security architecture has brought a new ray of hope that Nigeria will be effectively secured and stabilized for a sustainable future. He, however, made a case for human intelligence so that the objectives can be achieved in the shortest time possible. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And still staying with security, President Buhari has directed service chiefs to ensure that the fight against terrorism, kidnapping, and other crimes threatening the peace and safety of lives is won within the next few weeks. The Chief of Defence Staff, General Lucky Rabo, revealed this at a regional security meeting at the 2-Division Nigerian Army Ibadan. Correspondent Shola Wahid completes the story.
Officers of the armed forces in the zone, the Chief of Defence Staff, General Lucky Irabo, explained that the directive from President Muhammadu Buhari to end insurgency has necessitated the need for all security agencies to collaborate towards achieving the common goal of securing lives and property of Nigerians. He commended the officers for their resilience and brilliant performance over the years in the fight against crime and assured them of good welfare to enhance their performance and dedication.
Whilst you have done quite well, the work is not over. The reason being that across the country and in your area in particular, there are still pockets of security challenges. Mr. President, Commander-in-Chief has charged us to ensure that we bring peace and security in conjunction with other security agencies within few weeks across the country.
The service chiefs paid a courtesy call on the Oyo State Governor, who was represented by his deputy, to sympathize with the people over the recent mayhem in the state. Meanwhile, a new general officer commanding GOC, Major General Gold Chibuizi, has taken over the leadership of 2 Division Nigerian Army from Major Anthony Omosoji, who has been redeployed in Ibadan. Shola Wahid, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Central Naval Command has flagged off a military exercise codenamed Calm Waters, in line with a directive from the Chief of Naval Staff and the Armed Forces mission statement to curb security threats within the nation's maritime sector. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that the 4-day operation was flagged off by the Flag Officer Commanding Headquarters Logistics Command, Rear Admiral Samaila Lassa.
This symbolic flag-off of exercise Calm Water signifies the commencement of a proactive operation that will checkmate crude oil theft, pirates and other economic saboteurs within the nation's waterways. This is to enhance the safety of vessels, shippers, and promote socio-economic activities within the nation's maritime domain.
The positive aspect of what we are here to do today is to confirm that there is less of interference in the socio-economic activities in the area of responsibility. So what we are doing today and in the many days to come is to consolidate on those successes that we've achieved and to nip whatever it is that is rearing its head in the board.
A swan bogey operation coordinated by the Flag Officer Commanding Central Naval Command, Rear Admiral Saidu Garba, that spanned through Otumara, Madego, Ewe and Bene River in Warri South Local Government of Delta State, led to the destruction of an illegal refining site in the creeks. Similarly, Rear Admiral Saidu Garba also inspected ongoing projects aimed at improving the welfare of naval personnel and to enhance productivity. Ismail Musa, NTA News.
We'll take a break here. The news continues shortly. Thanks for staying with us. We go health now, and as the rollout campaign for vaccination against COVID-19 picks up pace, many states have commenced the inoculation exercise, with leaders being the first to be administered with the shots. Ruth Aguele has a compilation from various states across the country.
I believe the COVID-19 vaccine is a giant stride in the fight against the pandemic, as more states continue to receive and administer the vaccines. In Ebonyi State, Chika Okorie reports that the governor and his deputy were the first to get the jab of the first dose of the vaccine, while urging the people to continue to adhere to the COVID-19 protocols.
But the beauty is that leadership, Mr. President, has proven it by taking the first shots.
In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa reports that the vaccination was flagged off at the Murtala Muhammad Specialist Hospital, with Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje receiving the dose of the vaccine, followed by other government officials and frontline health workers.
Mr. President has succeeded in securing the vaccines, which is taking the fight to the next level.
Niger State Governor and his cabinet members also led by example by taking the vaccine, while urging the people to make themselves available to get vaccinated, as reported by Husseina Musa.
Because they are in the front line, you should do it now, you should do it first. So once that is done, then we are able to convince Nigerians that it is safe to do so.
Justina Etim reports that 53,840 doses of the COVID-19 vaccines were delivered in Calabar, and the health workers set the ball rolling by getting vaccinated.
Starting from the laboratory here in Dr. Lawrence Henshaw Memorial Hospital, they for us are the most exposed set of people.
While other states have commenced the vaccination, some others are still taking delivery of the vaccines. In Bauchi State, 80,570 first doses of the vaccines were delivered to the state. Gombe State was also not left out in taking delivery of the vaccines at the Gombe International Airport. In Maiduguri, the delivery of the vaccines was received by the Deputy Governor of the state, Umar Usman Kadafu, alongside other key players at the Maiduguri International Airport. Sokoto State received delivery of 68,660 doses of the AstraZeneca COVID-19 vaccine. In Abuja, Ruth Aguela, NTA News.
And Nigerians have again been assured of the safety of the COVID-19 AstraZeneca vaccine. This time around, the assurance is coming from the agency responsible for its authenticity. Director General of the National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, says she is personally leading the charge against vaccine hesitancy after taking her first dose of the vaccine. Hamman Jabani reports.
Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control is responsible for certifying the safety of COVID-19 vaccine, and Director General of the agency, while taking her first shot, said due diligence have been observed and it is safe irrespective of allergies that comes with all drugs. She informed that Johnson & Johnson vaccine is expected between the second and the third quarter of the year, while 14 herbal medicines have been listed for COVID-19 but are yet to undergo clinical trials.
There is no medicine that doesn't have side effects, especially when it's going through development. It is whether the benefits outweigh the risk, and the conclusion is that from all indications, quality, safety, efficacy, the benefits outweigh the side effects. From all indications, it is generally safe.
It is efficacious and it will protect you and I against the COVID-19 infection.
I got my vaccine. This is my card.
Mojisola Adeyeye is calling on Nigerians to avail themselves for vaccination when it gets to them in order to have a safe country. Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
And Nigeria has recorded yet another feat with the commissioning of a high-tech molecular laboratory at Nizamiye Hospital in Abuja. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports.
Experts have identified testing as key to curtailing COVID-19, hence the need for more people to get tested. Report by the Ministry of Health indicate that Nigeria can currently boast of over 120 molecular laboratories across the country. The latest is this molecular laboratory capable of testing for COVID-19 and other viral diseases with accurate results in real time, owned by Nizamiye Hospital, Abuja.
We decided to join hands with the federal government by establishing this laboratory that is fully equipped, not just for COVID-19. We would also conduct other tests, such as the HIV viral load, the hepatitis B virus, DNA viral load, and the hepatitis C virus viral load.
Here clearly demonstrates the tenacity, the attention to details that Nizamiye Hospital is paying in ensuring that quality of services provided are at its peak.
Minister of State for Health, who commissioned the facility, says public and private efforts like this will help in providing access to best health care to citizens.
Nizamiye Hospital has been a blessing, not just to the Federal Capital Territory here in Abuja, but to Nigeria as a whole.
This facility is one among many resources owned by Nizamiye Turkish Hospital, located at Idu Industrial Layout, hopes to render quality services in critical health sector in Nigeria. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
In other news, the leadership of the National Assembly is assuring the National Council of Traditional Rulers that it is committed to ensuring that they get constitutional roles as custodians of culture and traditions. The leaders of the Senate and House of Representatives gave the assurance at separate meetings with a delegation of the Council. Dayo Gunshola reports.
Leader of the delegation and Etsunope Yahya Abubakar observed that, unlike what is obtainable in the Constitution, now traditional rulers have been important in the smooth running of their respective communities long before the amalgamation of the northern and southern protectorates. The traditional rulers are therefore saying the ongoing constitution amendment provides an opportunity for them to push for constitutional roles.
Currently, traditional rulers do not have the constitutional or other legal backing to perform effectively, as they are not even mentioned in the 1999 constitution.
President of the Senate, in appreciation of the role of royal fathers, noted that they cannot be taken for granted in the new constitution.
Our desire to continuously work as a legislature with the executive arm of government to create a safer and more secure Nigeria. If our traditional institutions will be part of our security architecture, so be it.
This was similar to assurances received from the House of Representatives Committee on the Review of the Constitution, where the Council had earlier presented its memo.
We are very much conscious of what the role should be, some of us. This may be personal, but I believe the things that have been mentioned today, all of us are aware that we may not have been the problem where we are of insecurity if we have taken care of what the traditional institutions will have been doing.
The royal fathers expressed readiness to work with the National Assembly with a view to ensuring that their aspirations come to reality. From the National Assembly, Dayo Gunshola, NTA News.
The Minister of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sadia Umar Farouk, has launched the NPower Batch C program through the National Social Investment Management System, an online system that will be used to complete the selection process for Batch C applicants into the scheme. Ruth Aguele reports that 500,000 young graduates will be enrolled in the NPower Batch C program.
When we went there in Fege local government, it was not based on maybe religion or ethnicity, but it was surely based on merit. Once you have your credential on ground, you are good to go.
Charles DK is not only an excited beneficiary, but a clear testament to the workings and success of the NPower program. Having successfully concluded batches A and B, the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development launched the NPower Batch C program, taking a new dimension to ensure transparency and dynamic impact assessment of the program. The new approach will enhance a seamless verification process for all applicants and address irregularities.
The NPower Batch C, as launched today, is structured to onboard 1 million new beneficiaries, beginning with an initial 500,000 beneficiaries in the first stream and a subsequent 500,000 in second stream. It will now be administered through the National Social Investment and Information Management System, NASIMS, designed to optimize and complement the structural reforms of social investment programs.
Some of the benefits of NASIMS include timely payment of stipends to beneficiaries, access to wide range of industry-specific contents for optimized learning experience, promote interaction, prompt feedback from program implementation teams, among other benefits. With the launch of the Batch C program, applicants are expected to log into the NPower self-service portal on www.nasims.gov.ng to update their records and submit to a mandatory online test to progress to the next level of the selection process. In Abuja, Ruth Aguele, NTA News.
And 10,000 direct jobs are in the offing as the Nigerian incentives-based risk-sharing system for agricultural lending, NERSAL, signs Memorandum of Understanding on end-to-end agricultural engineering solutions with the National Agency for Science and Engineering Infrastructure, NASENI. Managing Director of NERSAL, Aliu Abdelhamid, says the institution will provide up to 75% credit risk guarantee to banks and investors for the scale-up phase of the program. Let's join Leah Katung Babatunde for the details.
Statistics show that agriculture contributed 26.95% to the nation's GDP in the fourth quarter of 2020. For a sector that accounts for a large percentage of jobs, Aliu Abdul Hamid said the collaboration with NASEN is in line with NISAL's mandate, and its main purpose is to improve the performance of the agricultural sector and make positive impacts to boost the nation's economy.
As the enabler of finance, I'm also a risk manager. I don't want to get the banks and investors put their money only to find that they cannot get their money back. The only way they can get their money back is for the farmers to produce at quantity and quality required by the market. And once there's revenue, you can be guaranteed of their capacity to pay back the loan. And therefore, everyone is happy.
This partnership seeks to provide end-to-end solutions aimed at fixing the agricultural mechanization value chain in Nigeria that would ultimately provide 10,000 direct jobs, 100,000 indirect jobs, and over 1 million multiplied across the value chain. Powering sufficient water for agriculture is crucial here.
NASAL and NASENI and MECA has come out with a cheaper way of doing irrigation. You don't need billions of dollars of dams in order to do that. So whatever amount it will take us to get it right for the first time is worth investing.
The end-to-end agricultural infrastructure solutions would enable farmers enjoy multi-cropping seasons in a year by improving irrigation, among other benefits. In Abuja, Leah Katingbaba Tunde, NTA News.
The Federal Ministry of Water Resources has handed over more than 1,000 hectares of irrigation land to farmers in Bunkuri and Garumalam local government areas of Kano State. Aminu Umar reports that the handover follows the rehabilitation of a 24-kilometer eastern canal through the Transformation Irrigation Management in Nigeria project.
The project handover is 24-kilometer eastern branch canal, which consists of 14 sectors. 11 have so far been completed.
We are going to make sure that the dams and its facilities are functioning well. The MC will maintain it very well, and also will encourage the farmers to take care of the facilities within their farms. Thank you.
We hope that farmers will appreciate that this is supposed to last for many years to better their livelihoods, and they on their own they will protect it from people who would want to misuse it.
More than 1 million farmers are expected to benefit. For this reason, Transformation Irrigation Management in Nigeria has trained and built the capacity of Water Users Association on how best to manage and sustain the project for optimum benefit.
It is through agriculture that most of the raw materials that are needed in our industries are produced. Therefore, any amount expended by the federal government on agriculture, I think, is not going to be too big.
Before now, all the canals were dilapidated, which restrained farmers from achieving the full potentials of the project. With its completion, it is expected to absorb more youth into agriculture. This is in addition to serving other non-agricultural purposes. In Kano, Amin Umar, NTA News.
The 29th of April has been set for the commencement of Phase 2 of the digital switchover from analog to digital broadcasting in the country. Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed announced the date at a media briefing in Abuja. Anthony Forson reports.
Information and Culture Minister, while announcing the new dates for the commencement of the rollout Phase 2, said 4 states, 3 of them densely populated.
This is to accentuate our eagerness to take the DSO to as many Nigerians as possible, as well as to ensure its viability, as we have now decided that the process will be commercially driven. Our decision to also kickstart the analog switch off is a clear testimony to our commitment to complete the DSO process as soon as possible.
And to make the process viable, the minister assured that channel owners and content providers will be supported through the implementation of the audience measurement system to guarantee a sustained stream of revenue from advertising for them to attract investment in content development.
In this regard, the Advertising Practitioners Council of Nigeria, APCON, has been directed to implement key policies to guarantee the advertising income of media houses by creating a healthy environment for the media outfits to operate. Very soon, APCON and the National Broadcasting Commission will sign an MOU on zero advertising debts to ensure that revenue from advertisers goes to the media owners.
On set-top boxes, the Federal Ministry of Information and Culture, the minister said, will partner with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment to ensure a reduction in tariff on raw materials for its production, saying his ministry will aim at 0% tariff for completely knocked down components and not more than 5% tariff for semi-knocked down components against the current 5% tariff for completely knocked down components and 10% for semi-knocked down components. This, the minister assured, will make the set-top boxes within the reach of an average Nigerian. Giving a rundown on how the Phase 2 rollout will run, Acting Director General, National Broadcasting Commission, Professor Armstrong Idachaba, said the process will go through to the end of the year.
So by the plan that we have, by the end of first quarter in 2022, we will have had additional 10 states. Additional 10 states will have been, or a total of 10 states will have been switched on in Nigeria. Lagos, Kano, Rivers, Yobe, Gombe, Imo, Akwa Ibom, Oyo, Jigawa, and Ebonyi states.
In Abuja, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
Time now to go over to Hingino John Adams in Lagos for more reports. Hingino.
Thank you, Cyril. The World Health Organization has acknowledged Lagos State's response to COVID-19 pandemic as a model, recommending the disease control management system for other African countries to emulate. Country representative of the World Health Organization, Walter Molombo, stated this when he visited Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the State House in Lagos. Musa Toliat reports.
The World Health Organization country representative Walter Mulombo said the visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu underscores the need to commend the state for taking bold steps to respond effectively to COVID-19 pandemic despite having relative knowledge about the virus. He, however, stressed that when the rollout of COVID-19 vaccine commences, the state should continue to sensitize the population on the need to maintain and sustain regulations on COVID-19 protocols.
The testing capacity increased in a very short time. I can see the way the capacity for providing oxygen to patients suffering from COVID. Many states here in Nigeria have learned from the response that was going on here in Lagos. We are looking forward to Lagos State to show the same leadership in rolling out the COVID-19 vaccine.
Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu assured that Lagos State will step up efforts to flatten the COVID-19 curve by constantly engaging its medical professionals on best approaches to respond to new developments around the pandemic.
We see health as a strong critical component of our human capital index, and it's something that we're deliberately putting this year. I think over 12% of our total capex budget, in health. The second wave appears to have flattened out. We're watching. We're not stopping, at the level of tests that we need to conduct. So we're willing to partner with WHO to see areas of further collaboration.
It will be recalled that Lagos State government took delivery of 507,000 doses of Oxford AstraZeneca vaccines on Tuesday. In Lagos, Musa Toliat, NTA News.
The memory of the wanton destruction of property during the EndSARS protest is still fresh in the minds of members of the Lagos Council of the Nigerian Union of Journalists. Because of this development, the association has resolved to prosecute peddlers of fake news and other information capable of inducing violence. This affirmative position was given by its chairman, Adeleye Ajayi, at the donation of a vehicle to the union by the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Michael Olale reports.
Lagos, being the commercial nerve of Nigeria, is faced with difficulty when it comes to mobility. Journalists in particular bear the brunt of the traffic situation, which usually affects the promptness of reporting a breaking news. Amen. This presentation is about to change the tide and will invariably add value to the process of news gathering. It is a product of the philanthropic gesture of the national leader of the APC, based on his belief that the media remains a vital tool for stimulating socio-political growth.
When the media is okay, the country will be okay. We are trying to strengthen the media so that they can be another arm of government to keep us on our feet, to make sure that Nigerians get the best.
The Nigerian Union of Journalists is passionate about the gesture and determined to complement the vision of the APC by addressing the growing culture of fake news threatening national peace and unity.
Apart from sanctioning whoever perpetrates fake news, we want to attach much importance to training and retraining of journalists. When a journalist is well trained, you won't have time, you won't have the wherewithal to go into fake news. And fake news is dangerous to our profession. We want to stamp it out entirely.
This donation is coming barely 4 months after the emergence of the union's new leadership. In Lagos, Michael Lale, NTA News.
We now take a break. Network news continues after that.
And we're back in Abuja now. The Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, has unveiled a mobile application for the Nigeria Police Force Microfinance Bank. Francis Form reports that the mobile app is expected to improve service delivery of the bank in retail banking, soft loans and financial advisory.
That was the unveiling of the NPF Microfinance Bank, e-banking technology, the mobile banking app, and the *5757# USSD code. The Inspector General of Police said this initiative will improve banking experience, customer interaction, operational efficiencies for both serving and retired police officers and the general public who bank with the NPF Microfinance Bank.
The Nigeria Police Force Microfinance Bank found it expedient to develop a mobile banking application, agency banking, and the use of USSD to meet customers' needs. Customers will now be able to perform key banking operations through the mobile banking applications being launched today, from the comfort of their homes, digital devices, or through the bank's accredited agents.
Chairman of the NPF Microfinance Bank acknowledged that financial stress-free life is key to personnel performance. He encouraged police personnel, retired police officers and the general public to maximize the enormous opportunities and benefits of the e-banking platform that the Nigeria Police Microfinance Bank provides.
This achievement comes at a time where customers demand timeliness, flexibility, and confidence in carrying out financial transactions.
The Nigerian police has achieved a most significant milestone by the deployment of this digitalization, because for all of the officers, they can now access loans, they can access funding.
Established on the 19th of May 1993 as one of the leading microfinance banks in Nigeria from a single branch at creation, the NPF Microfinance Bank can now boast of 35 branches across Nigeria. Francis Form, NTA News.
Human rights activist and senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has appeared in court following a summons by the court to testify in the trial of former chairman of the defunct pension task team, Abdul Rashid Maina. Olabode Arewa reports that a second witness and a member of the task force also testified.
The human rights activist Femi Falana SAN is among those subpoenaed by the court to come and give evidence on how the assets allegedly recovered by Abdul Rashid Maina from pension thieves were dissipated. At the resumed trial, Falana told the court that although he was here to receive the court summons, he came out of respect for the court. This prompted the presiding judge, Justice Okonabang, to direct him to the registry to regularize his processes.
Well, I understand that we have been summoned by the court, hence I'm here. But I've collected the copy of the subpoena ad testificandum, even though no date has been fixed for me to call. But it's going to provide an opportunity for me to put an end to the needless controversy surrounding a property I never bought.
Meanwhile, the second defense witness for Abdulrashid Maina, Charles Emwakeme, testified on how the pension reform tax team recovered about 10 billion naira from ghost pensioners.
Well, that is what is obtainable in court. There will always be issues and counter issues. What is most important is the fact before the court.
Maina is facing 12 counts of alleged money laundering to the tune of 2 billion naira. The matter is adjourned to March 17 for continuation. In Abuja, Labodarewa, NTA News.
We'll take another break now. Stay with us. Sports now with Tamara Ibiwe.
It has been medals rain for Team Nigeria cyclists at the African Continental Track Cycling Championships in Cairo, Egypt. The women elite team made history, winning gold medals in team sprints and pursuit events, while getting a silver in the team time trial. In the junior category, Nigeria won silver in the team sprint and bronze in team pursuit events. To combat sports, Nigeria's Elizabeth Ayanacho on Thursday lost 6-7 to Melika Mihiseni Valiki of Iran in the quarterfinals of Turkish Taekwondo Open. Ayanacho had earlier defeated Medin Esu Eroglu of Turkey 13-0 by technical knockout in round of 16.
I was disappointed at the outcome, but I've not competed in like 1 year, so I still have some other major tournaments. It's part of the benefit.
The Turkish Open is Ayanacho's first competitive event in 1 year as she continues her build-up to the Tokyo Olympic Games. And in mixed martial arts, Nigeria-born Israel Adesanya could be forced to sit out for 6 months after his points defeat to light heavyweight champion Jan Blachowicz last weekend in the Ultimate Fighting Championship UFC 259. The middleweight champion needs an X-ray of his left foot and ankle and a clearance by a doctor before he can return to action, while also avoiding contact for 3 weeks. With sports updates, Tamara Ibiwe, NTA News.
The management of the Nigerian Television Authority has expressed the desire to preserve the legacies of the late television icon Sadiq Daba by working with his family on any laudable project in his name. The Zonal Director NTA 2 Lagos, Lawal Ahmed, who led the management team to deliver a condolence letter from the Director General to the widow of the late actor, says this is in recognition of Sadiq Daba's passion and commitment to broadcasting. Adeni Taiwu completes the report.
In all his flourishing career as a broadcaster, late Sadiq Daba was particularly close to the NTA, whether as Petrus in Kokradon, co-anchor on AM Express, which he featured on for years, or as other characters in popular soaps. Daba's affinity with NTA was strong and born of passion. The visit of NTA management team to his house at MKO Gardens, Ikeja, is to commiserate with his family and reinforce the bond shared with them. Daba's death notwithstanding, even in death, Sadiq Daba still dominated discussions as everyone had something to say about him, recalling bits and pieces of the man who ruled the screen for so many decades. Delivering a condolence letter personally signed by the Director General of NTA, Yakubu Ebu Mohammed, to the widow, the Zonal Director, NTA 2 Lagos Network Center, Hamid Lawal, said the late thespian earned his name and fame by doing what he was passionate about.
He became an icon because of NTA, so therefore his family is also an extension of the system, so there is no way we can do anything without having to reference them.
To preserve Daba's legacies, NTA is ready to work with his family to promote any special project in his honor. Thanking NTA management for the visit, his widow, Bolaji Daba, said the family derived much comfort from NTA's solidarity with one of their own.
Showed that NTA appreciates my husband and they are proud of what he has done.
In Lagos, Adini Taiwo, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari has expressed sadness over the passing of the Prime Minister of Cote d'Ivoire, Hamid Bakayoko. On behalf of the government and people of Nigeria, President Buhari conveys his deepest condolences to the family of the late Prime Minister, President Alassane Ouattara, the government and people of Cote d'Ivoire as they mourn the death of Bakayoko, few months after the demise of his predecessor. And that concludes Network News Tonight. Thank you for watching. I'm Cyril Stober. Good night.